In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to improve your lead generation strategies for your SaaS business. Now, before we can improve strategies, we first must discuss the three main reasons lead generation strategies are failing in most businesses today. Now, once we get a great lead generation strategy, the goal will be to have that help you achieve that hockey stick growth every organization hopes to achieve. Now, if you stay to the end of the video as well, what I'll do is I'll give you the details and how you can get your hands on 17 lead generation strategies that you can implement in your business today. Guys, my name's Gavin Tye. I'm the founder of Sales Market Fit and an enterprise SaaS salesperson by day. So everything that I'm going to discuss with you today, I've learned one way or another through hard lessons during my career in enterprise sales in the SaaS space. So if you like this video today, please consider subscribing because I'll be releasing more content around sales strategy for B2B SaaS businesses that might very well help you achieve extraordinary goals in your business. Finding leads in any business is a constant battle. If you don't have the right lead generation strategy, organizations can really struggle to survive. So it's important to have a well-rounded plan to help your business not only survive, but thrive. And it's the convergence of a great lead generation strategy with multiple channels that you may be implementing when they start coming together that will help you achieve hockey stick growth, which is every SaaS business's dream, let's be honest. I know as well as anyone, it can be a real stressful time when you don't know where your leads are coming from. In my early days, when I was working at a B2B SaaS company, we were starting from scratch, no momentum. And so we spent the first 1 or 2 years trying to generate leads for a large monthly recurring revenue price point of around $25,000 to $40,000 per month. It was really, really difficult. It is no secret that finding leads in a business is a never-ending task. It can be really difficult, but it's creating a really strategic lead generation engine that consists of short-term, medium-term, and long-term strategies that will ultimately help your business achieve that hockey stick growth. Now, I know firsthand how difficult it is to try to generate leads consistently. When I first started as an enterprise SaaS salesperson, we had no SDRs, we had no marketing, and I was solely responsible for creating leads and getting the name out there for the SaaS company that I work for. And we made many, many mistakes. And I wish I knew these lessons today, that what I'm going to share with you, because that would have completely changed how we approach lead generation. But to first create a robust lead generation strategy, we first must understand the mistakes others are making. So today I'm going to talk to you about 3 main mistakes businesses are making in this area. So if you're making these mistakes, hopefully you'll learn something today and you can improve your situation. So let's get into it. Now, the first reason why most lead generation strategies are failing within a business is they're not giving the strategy enough time to produce results. Now, there are short-term, medium-term, and long-term strategies that will produce varied results within a business. Now, in the download that you'll be able to get at the end of this video, I have 17 strategies that consist of just that, short, medium, and long-term. But one of the biggest mistakes people make is expect short-term results from medium or long-term strategies. Now, one of the best examples of this is marketing. People put too much pressure on marketing, which is a medium to long-term strategy, to produce short-term results. Now, it's when they want short-term results, they put pressure or try something that's not quite natural and can actually be detrimental to the brand that you're trying to build. Now, I've walked this walk many times before. I was solely focused on creating leads when I first started in a B2B startup many years ago. But then what happened, the founder was getting pressure to produce revenue and he asked me to put pressure on the clients to move forward. But it just didn't work. I could feel them all move away from the sales opportunity or withdraw from engaging with me. It's because I was applying a medium-term strategy and I was expecting short-term results. We must let medium-term strategies and long-term strategies evolve over time. So they must be supplemented with short-term strategies. Now, short-term strategies should be implemented with medium and long-term strategies. And it depends on how much time you have in your business, agreed. But there should be a mix of all three. Now, short-term strategies like cold calling and cold emailing come with their own set of problems. This is low-hanging fruit in the lead generation industry. It is a crowded marketplace. And doing the same things as everybody else can be fraught with danger, and we'll discuss that in a second. Now, short-term strategies may not be the optimal solution for longer term, but you do need something to start generating short-term leads or gathering information or gathering data out in the market to help with those medium and longer term strategies later on. So we must give the medium and long-term strategies the space to evolve in the marketplace. It's just like fishing. Lead generation is exactly like fishing. If you want to fish for the big fish, you need a completely different approach than how you would fish for the small fish. It doesn't help when you're fishing if you throw the rod out, want it back in to check all the time, throw it out, want it back in. You're not giving the market or you're not giving the fish enough time to bite. I hope that analogy helps in this situation. Now, before we move on to point number two, now salespeople mainly focus on the short and medium term strategies. They really won't focus on the longer term strategies because it takes too long to evolve. And that's really down to a founder or a business to own those longer term strategies, like becoming an authority in the space, managing a community of a larger scale. And the reason why salespeople won't do longer term strategies is because they can't guarantee they'll be in a business for longer than 5 years or 3 years. And that's how the length of time a longer term strategy may take to evolve. Now, here's the thing. Salespeople will mainly focus on short term strategies and maybe some medium term strategies. They will never, in most cases, even focus on a longer term strategy, because becoming an authority in a space, in an industry, may take somewhere between 3 to 5 years to evolve. Just look at Gary Vee as an example. He has developed a great long-term strategy about becoming an authority in his space. He knows he's going to be there for the long term. A salesperson wouldn't necessarily do that because they can't guarantee they'll be in an industry or a vertical within a SaaS business for a long period of time. They may jump out of HR into engineering, sales space, or something like that. So it just does not make sense. This should be down to the business and the founder to do those strategies. I hope that helps. Now, I'd love to know, do you employ short-term, medium-term, or long-term strategies in your business? And if so, what's the ratio and how's it going for you? I'd love to know in the comments below. Now, the second mistake most businesses are making is they fail to differentiate themselves enough during outbound or lead generation activities. Ask yourself, do you receive LinkedIn connection requests? Or do you receive cold email outreach from people trying to sell you something? How much do they all sound the same? I get them all the time. The common lead generation strategy or connection strategy on LinkedIn is, hey, we seem to have common interests. I'd love to connect. And you go, okay, I'll connect. And 2 days later, it must be through automation software. They're trying to sell something straight away. It's completely disingenuous. And it's something that everyone else has done before. And they seem to be following a pattern. We must start differentiating ourselves from the beginning. Look at what other people are doing in your industry, or even sign up to things to see how people will approach you, and be different. Be different. Differentiate yourself means be different. Now, with a short-term strategy of cold emailing, for instance, let's use that as an example. Most people try to sell on that first email. And people just don't even listen anymore. And that's why the reply rates are so low. It's becoming a crowded marketplace. People are doing the same thing and they're getting the same results. So a common remedy to this is to ramp up your lead generation outreach from, let's just say you might be doing 20 a week to 1,000 a week because your reply rates are 2 to 3%. And that is a way to try to get more leads. The fact is it can ruin your brand. And if you're a B2B business selling high ticket sales, you will burn through your market quicker than you would if you were selling to the consumer. It's not ideal. So instead, consider breaking down that lead generation strategy of the short term into more short, medium, and longer term strategies. Now, I learned this the hard way in a crowded marketplace when I was working for a recruitment company in the blue collar space. I knew in my region there was more than 100 blue collar recruitment companies, and they were all trying to sell to the companies that I was approaching. So I made it a point to not sell to them for at least 3 meetings when I first started in this business. Can you imagine if I knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I'm Gavin from X company, I want to sell you something." They were like, "You're just like everyone else, see you later." So what I did was aim to create conversation and genuine connection for the first 3 meetings. And by creating genuine connection, it gave me the chance to talk about our services when they were ready to discuss. If you're selling high ticket B2B SaaS sales, nearly all sales will need to start with a client interaction. It'd be almost impossible to create a scalable business without speaking to clients face to face or online. So it makes sense in the lead generation strategy for cold calling is to maybe get to a conversation first. Maybe share what your business is doing and ask for their expert advice on some gaps that you may be missing, or get feedback on if it's a real world solution that would potentially solve a real world problem. Now, asking for their input is such a soft way to creating conversation. If you have a unique solution, or if you can get that conversation and ask to call back again to keep them updated on the functionality or what you're doing within their business, you are far more likely to close something over the longer term. You need to speak to people. And that is the quickest way to build revenue, but it seems slow in the beginning. Now consider your competitors will contact with a cold email and try to sell something, they'll burn that relationship. They won't even get a reply. So be different. We must be different. And differentiation starts with lead generation. We just can't start being different halfway through a client interaction. We have to be different. Different. Now, the third way a company fails in their lead generation strategy is not being consistent. Now, everyone is time poor, I get it. And I still fall into this trap many times. Now, the task of lead generation can be easily overlooked. Our days get away from us, our weeks get away from us. And what happens is we can quickly go through a week without doing any lead generation activity whatsoever. So a natural remedy to this is a business will ramp up or do 1 day a month or something of their lead generation. Let's call it outbound cold emailing. And they'll email 100 or 1,000 or whatever number that will be at the beginning of the month. But because they're not trying to build genuine connections, it's impossible to build genuine connection with that many people at once. They'll start falling into, "Hey, do you want to buy our product?" Which is what we spoke about in the previous example, is trying to sell too soon. And so what happens is this creates a glass ceiling, because as you get more successful from your initial lead generation, you spend less time on it. And then over time, that produces less results. So what happens is you'll get leads come in or opportunities come in, and you'll see a cyclical event in your business. It's one of the reasons why companies implement SDRs, to try to iron out those peaks and troughs that happen inevitably from success over time. Now, I get it. If you're a founder, you are so time poor, you're probably wearing 10 hats, something like that. But you must do some type of consistent lead generation. So let me run an example by you. Let's say your average revenue size for your B2B SaaS is $1,000 per month. That's your goal. If we were to reach out to 5 people per day for every day of the year, you would have reached out to 1,825 potential businesses. Now let's say out of that 1,825 companies that you contacted, 2.5% of them came on as clients. That's the innovator portion of the technology adoption curve. That's not unheard of. Now that's 46 clients that you would get on board in your business in 1 year. Now, with an average revenue size per month of $1,000 per month, that's $46,000 per month in revenue, or just over $550,000 a year in annual recurring revenue, if you were to just break down that numbers in a more simplified approach. But being consistent is key. Most businesses aren't consistent, and I fall into that trap myself. Today I'm working on in my day job, a more medium-term strategy that's starting to come to fruition, but I didn't supplement that with short-term strategies, which I should have, because I got so engrossed in the medium-term strategy. So the key is here on that third point is to be consistent. Even if you only have an hour a day or 30 minutes a day, consistently blocking that out in the beginning of the morning to get those leads out or to make that connection, to try to build a relationship is key to your long-term success. Now, when you combine the short-term strategy with a medium-term strategy and a longer-term strategy, you'll start getting different revenue streams coming into the business. And that's where hockey stick growth begins to occur. Multiple streams of leads coming in over time to give you more clients coming in quicker. And that really is the ultimate goal within your business. Now, I hope you found today's video valuable. As mentioned at the beginning, down below in the comments, in the description, you'll be able to download my 17 lead generation strategies that consists of short, medium, and long-term approaches that you can apply in your business today. Now, generally speaking, you should have probably a number of short-term strategies, maybe 3, depending on how much time you have. You should have 1 or 2 medium-term strategies, and then you should have a long-term strategy. Now, ideally, having a short-term strategy that will transition into a longer-term strategy over time is the best way to go to create that hockey stick growth that we all hope to achieve. Now, finally, please consider subscribing to this channel if you want help with sales strategy in your SaaS business. I'll be releasing regular content. And until next time, speak to you later.